Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend. It's been an action-packed week. I mean, it's the last regular season of the playoffs. We had our Thanksgiving dinners and grubbed up on all that turkey. We had Black Friday shopping, Cyber Monday week of all these deals going on. I've been super busy, but I just wanted to really get you a weekly update and congratulate our top six winners of the playoffs. We got obviously in the buy spots with first and Kaung. We got second with Dennis. We got myself in third place. We also got Kelvin, who squeaked into the fourth spot. And we got Takuma at fifth and sixth spot. Jason, you made it into the playoffs, so congratulations. You're in there. The rest of the half, you guys, I'm sorry, better luck next season. But you do have a chance to win the consolation bracket. So I wanted to see, make sure you guys remind you that you can still win $50 if you win your consolation bracket and get half of your league dues back. So with that, I really just wanted to give you a weekly update. You know, a week and a half ago, I went to the Rams versus Ravens game. It was a great Monday night football game, and I just really watched Action Jackson really crush and do a really great fantasy week for me in my two other leagues where I drafted Lamar Jackson. So I was really excited to see him. I bought some Ravens swag because he's my new favorite player and quarterback. So goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. It's time for Action Jackson and the time to get into the weekly update. But before I do, I did want to talk about a couple of proposals for the 2020 season. These are some proposals that I talked to with some people at the basketball, and some people who were kind of having some momentum towards putting some changes to the league that may be for the better. It's up to you if you really want to vote and see if this is something that you want to do. I had three proposals to put on the play. I want to talk about those first before we get into the recap, and really just want to see how your thoughts on it. I'm really looking forward to your comments in the suggestion box below. So go ahead and really want to talk about this three proposals. So the first one is converting this league into an auction league draft. Auction drafts, as you know, everyone starts off with something like $200, and we would all be able to bid at our relative budget on whoever we want to pick on our team. So this is the most equal and fair way, in my opinion, when I'm in a lot of leagues, how to do a draft, because you can really select your own team and not have to rely on where your position is in terms of where you were picked out of the hat. If you were, for example, picked on the first spot, you actually have to wait 23 spots before you draft again. Sometimes you lose interest in midway in the draft. And sometimes, if you got a last pick, you can never have your chance to get your top five players, some guys like Zeke Elliott or maybe Lamar, Mahomes or anyone like that. So actually in the auction draft, it does have a way for you to build your own team based on everyone's equal budget. So I'm in favor of it, but I want to hear your thoughts. This is, to change it from a snake draft where, we can see from 1 to 12, we usually pick out of a hat. And in those instances, you really fall victim to wherever you are at the draft and you build from your team from there. So it's a different way of doing it. I know it's been discussed in the past. So finally, this vote is up for here, where it would probably take 6 managers in order for this to make it effective. 50% majority rules. And I think we can all manage our own teams either way, whether it's a snake or auction draft. But I think it's a fun way to make sure that we are picking our own teams the way we want. So that's the rule number one. It would be an auction league and changing it away from a snake league draft. Okay. The second proposal I wanted to discuss with you was just probably an easy one that's going to pass. This is regarding the trade rules, where I would have to announce and anytime it was a trade. And I have to see if there were any voters or vetoes for managers to vote against it. And it was kind of cumbersome, me being kind of busy, and you guys probably wanted to cast your vote silently. I think we're going to go ahead and propose to revert this back to a Yahoo veto type of league where it would take 4 votes to veto the trade. And if some trade goes through, it's pretty much anonymous. If you guys veto and there's 4 people that vote against it, it's automatically canceled and I don't even have to do anything. It really takes some of that responsibility away from me and allows you guys to really just cast your input at your own time and respond to the Yahoo vote button, approve or reject. So that's the second proposal. I'm going to probably take a poll by email and would like your responses. The third proposal is probably the most fun and twist to the upcoming 2020 season. I heard it from Kevin and a couple of other guys at basketball where they're talking about a cool, different, interesting twist where it is allowing the 2 lowest scoring teams of the week to pay the top 2 scoring teams of the week. So if you scored at the bottom 2, maybe you only scored like 99 points, and the top scorer of the week was like 180 points, they would win $10, and the $99 scorer would have to pay them $10. And I would just basically rack it up, accumulate, wash some wins and losses, and do it at the end of the season. So the way I was kind of considering this is it does make sense in a way because the problem with head-to-head Yahoo leagues is really only playing yourself versus one opponent on a week-to-week basis, head-to-head. This way, it kind of allows the head-to-head along with versus the entire league. You're really in competition on a week basis. So not only are we scoring, the wins and losses, we're also kind of taking into account the points that you score. So hopefully every week everyone's motivated to score as much as they can because obviously you don't want to be the lowest 2 scorers of the week because that's going to fall, $10. So it's a cool, really different twist. I'm in favor of this one as well because it really just makes it interesting that you're not really just playing one person for the week, you're playing against the entire league. And those of you who score high in certain weeks, like I remember in week 1, Richie scored like 170, 180 points, and he lost to Fleming. And so he got a loss for the week, but he did score the second highest points of the entire league. So in that instance, yes, he lost, but at least he can kind of think of a positive spin that he would get $10 for being the second highest scorer of that week. So that's an instance where there's some balance. Obviously, through the course of 13 weeks, and this would only be implemented for the regular season. For the course of 13 weeks, it washes out for a lot of wins and losses for a lot of people. For your kind of fun enjoyment, I just did a sample because we had 13 weeks in play right now, and I just did the math really quickly. For the course of the 13 weeks, I would basically see that myself, I would win $10. Kevin, he'd win 20. Kaung had a strong season. He was in first place all season. He would win $50. Takuma would win 20. Paul, you'd win $10. Dennis, you'd win $10, and Jason, you'd win $10 as well. The losers for the 13 season week, we would have Richie losing $30. Edgar would lose $30. I'm sorry. Richie and Fleming would both lose $30. Fleming washes away at 0. No. Let me strike that. Richie and Fleming lose $30. Edgar is at 0. Eric, you're at 0. Derek actually was the lowest loser. He would lose $70 because he was the lowest scorer for 7 out of the 13 weeks. But Derek just really did have a bad season. It was tough matchups, and he did have the lowest scoring team out of the entire season, so it was pretty apparent. But he would have to chip in $70. That would be spread out to some of the winners over there. So that was the proposal. If this were to be voted and approved, bottom 2 would pay the top 2. I count it all at the end of the season. Basically, I would ask for the losers to pay the fees by the Super Bowl. So it gives you some time for me to do the math and just say if you owed like 10 or 20 or whatever, $50, and collect the fees so that I would distribute all of the fees hopefully by the Super Bowl time or a little bit sooner. So as soon as I get the fees or the payments, I can distribute all the funds all at once. Some people would wash away, And I think that's a cool twist. This is I've never heard of this in any of the other leagues that I played in. So I hope you guys want to see and vote for it. And all three of these proposals seem pretty cool. Auction League, changing to Yahoo voting and veto rules, and the third one is the bottom two teams pay the top two for the week only in the regular season. All right, so that's the update. I hope to hear your comments and suggestions. Let me know and reply to the email your thoughts when I take your poll and your votes. And now it's time to get into the regular season week 13 matchups. It was really exciting to see all of the competition. A lot of you guys really stepped up, and the bottom teams really pulled through to make it interesting. Some of them played some devil's advocate, and the first matchup we're going to get into was myself, obviously on top. I got 154 over Derek's 138. He did score well this week and scored over projections. Derek unfortunately got 0 from Golden Tate, and Tannehill didn't have a good game against the Colts. Hunter Henry was weak when he could have scored and did really well with Mike Gesicki of the Dolphins. His top scorers were Alshon Jeffrey and Kansas City Chiefs defense, and he also got a nice score from Peyton Barber and Gurley. But with 138, that's a pretty healthy score, but not enough against Gamer Mahomes. I'm really happy I pulled through. Made myself at the third spot with my Mahomes 20 points. I got Cole Beasley came in for 21. Derrick Henry's been solid for me at 24. Devontae Parker 34 points, and even I got negative points with my kicker. It didn't matter because got 154. That's enough for me to get the win. So that squeaks me to the third spot. And I'm playing you, Jason. I'm playing you in the playoffs for the first round. The next matchup we're going to talk about was my favorite featured matchup of the week. We had over here Zika virus really needing to win this week in order to make sure and ensure he gets his playoff spot. He won against Jason, 118 only. And Jason had a negative 7 points from Nick Foles. That was a terrible game. Even I started Nick Foles in another league. He cost me that win too. So I feel for you. I'm sorry. D.D. Westbrook gave Jason 17 points. And other than that, Pittsburgh defense, 21. And that's pretty much it. The rest of his guys, Dalvin Cook didn't do too much. Ingram didn't do too much. So not enough. Kevin, congratulations. You did get yourself a fourth seed with Dak Prescott going strong. You got your Chris Carson combo with 20 points, and you got Rashad Penny, so that's a nice pickup. You even got 18 points from Devin Singletary. You got Kyle Rudolph gave you a touchdown. Joe Mixon, 16. Miles Sanders, almost 20 points. Even Buffalo D, 19 points. You put together 155. That's a good, solid win. So I'm happy for you. Allen Robinson as well, 19. Kevin's team is very interesting. This is a wide receiver type of league since we start 3 of them. But he's going with a ton of running backs in his squad. I see his team really going counterintuitive to most of the rest of us in this league. So he's got Chris Carson as his running back, Devin Singletary, Joe Mixon, Sanders, Miles Sanders, and even got a ton of people on his bench that are pretty solid. You got Alexander Madison, Rashad Penny, Benny Snell. So he's fully going on full running back. Very interesting. I like to see this alternative play. Good luck to you, Kevin, in the playoffs. I'm not in your bracket, so I hope you see what happens in your side. Then we got another matchup here with Takuma versus Fleming. Fleming got a surprise win on this one, even though he was the underdog. 141 points with Tom Brady, 24 points. You got 16 from Keenan Allen. Jared Cook gave you another 10, and your Tennessee defense was the difference. They gave you 29 points. So congratulations on your win, Fleming. You are not last place. And Takuma, I guess he was just not really that involved because he didn't need to win. He ensured that he was getting himself in the playoffs. And with 105 points, you're not going to win. But he does have Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews combo. And there you go. I'm rooting for your Lamar Jackson, Takuma. We got 16 points from DJ Moore. He had 12 from Mark Andrews. He got 14 from Gage. Nice pickup over there, starting him. But you also had some duds from Jalen Richard and Tyler Lockett. Carlos Hyde didn't do anything. So that's why you only scored 105. But don't worry, it didn't really matter to you, Takuma. You're going to be in the playoffs. And we'll see how that goes on your bracket. Next matchup we had was pretty much a non-important one because Kaung was already sitting pretty at first. He didn't matter if he wins. And two-hand touch, Richie, didn't really matter if you won either because you were out of it because you've had a pretty tough season. So Richie had Garoppolo, Tyreek Hill, didn't do much. Both of them, Saquon Barkley, 14 points. Melvin Gordon, 13. Darius Geis gave you 30 and 15 from Eckler, but not enough. 126 points, that's a mediocre week. Kaung, he always scores 140 plus. This week with Deshaun Watson, 27 points. He got 14 from McCaffrey. Zeke gave him 17. And Jack Doyle gave him 16 points. So with that, you even got James Washington, another 20. And his kicker and defense gave him 15 and 16 points. So that's a solid week. 147 points. You're solid, Kaung. You earned yourself a bye. So congratulations. You also secured yourself best record so you also got the $100 bonus. So that's going to you, Kaung. Congratulations. You are the top dog, and all eyes are on you to take you down. The next matchup we have is Terminator playing Shockers, and Shockers was in the borderline bubble. He needed to win this week, and he did. So he did his best, 141 points to 121 from Paul. Shockers, I want to say congratulations. You got 33 from Aaron Rodgers. You got 21 from Devontae Adams, who's back now healthy. Julian Edelman, 21. Kareem Hunt, 16 points. And your Rams defense, 24. But the rest of you guys didn't do that much, so I'm not going to really talk about them. You did your best. You tried hard this season, and you just find yourself right on that bubble, and you are on the outside looking in. But if you score 200 points or something plus, you could have earned yourself by points into the 6th spot. You needed a really big week, but 141, still good. That's a good week. Paul, terrible season right now. Russell Wilson, only 13. And you did get a good game from Robert Woods, 27 points. Kelsey gave you 12, but George Kittle didn't do nothing. Sammy Watkins, I'm surprised you started him. You benched James White, and that could have been a difference maker for you. James White, 35 points. I don't know why he's sitting on your bench, but he is, and you missed out on that one. So sorry, Paul. You are now 11th place. Now the last matchup we did was a low scoring affair. Dennis needed this win to secure the 2nd seed, 121 points. Not too good, but it's enough to beat Eric. Eric didn't get much from his players. The only guy who did good is Jason Witten, 16 points. His kicker gave him 20, and his defense gave him 11. Everyone else was under 6, 7, and 9 points. Nothing much, Eric. Sorry, man. You are outside on the bubble. You didn't make it in the playoffs. You were close. You needed to win. But this end of the season, you kind of slowed down. Dennis, congratulations. 2nd seed. You edged it out from me, but it's okay. I don't mind taking it and earning my championship. But you got yourself a 2nd seed bye. 21 points from Courtland Sutton. You got 15 from Darren Waller. And Green Bay defense, 14. Not much from your team, honestly. Dennis is a little bit on the slide, even though you won. You haven't been scoring as much as you used to. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in your bracket. I'm going to be there trying to hopefully battle against Jason. And that's really the end of this season. We got a really interesting playoff run right now. I'm going to show you what's going on in the playoffs. Obviously, I'm playing Jason Chai. 3 versus 6 seed, the 4 versus 5 spot. Kevin's playing Takuma, and whoever is the winner of that gets to play Kaung. I'm just so happy I'm not in that bracket. I'm in the Dennis bracket, so I'll see you, hopefully, Dennis, after this week. I don't know, Jason. I wish I didn't have to battle you of all players. We're pretty much projected to be even, so I don't know what's going to happen. We just started Thursday night football, so I'm sorry getting you this kind of late, but I just really wanted to get this before the fun and activities happen because the real games really happen starting Sunday. Fantasy football is still going strong, so just remember we're still battling it out for playoffs. First, second, and third place all get some sort of prize. The consolation bracket is still fighting for $50. And I wanted you to think about it. That's why I'm releasing the news for the next coming couple weeks about the 3 new trade proposals, the 3 new 2020 rules. Remember, I'm just going to remind you real quick, auction league draft, trade rules reverting back to Yahoo rules and voting there instead of the commissioner and vetoing with 4 counts to veto a trade. Otherwise, the trade goes approved. And the bottom 2 lowest scoring teams paying the top 2 scoring teams every single week for the first 13 regular season. I hope that makes sense to you all. I look forward to your comments while we build up some suggestions in the emails. And then later on, probably right by the end of the season, I'm going to ask you guys to vote. And I would really like your votes for everyone to contribute and participate so I know the feedback that you guys want. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the December and the holiday season before I catch you guys. Good luck for those of you in playoffs. Jason, I'm going to see you. I know you're going to be giving me your all, so I'm going to go ahead and see what I have up my sleeve. And good luck in all the rest of your leagues as well. I'm in 5 out of 5 playoffs in all of my leagues, so I'm definitely a competitor, and hopefully I wish me luck. I'm going to hopefully try to get myself in the top 2 or 3 weeks in every single league. And thank you all for listening to this long 21-minute video. Okay? Happy holidays.